Welcome to Tune In Radio U. I am here with the lovely and beautiful Terrie Marie. How are you, Terrie?
Doing good, thank you. I know y'all are getting up on your side of the world, and I'm just about ready to finish my day.
But you're still, you've got the energy for this interview. You've saved some energy for this interview, so we're all good, yeah?
I stored some up, so no worries.
Fantastic. I really appreciate it, and I'm sure the listeners do too. Okay, so you, wait for it, channel messages from crystals, apart from other things, but that is the main thing that you do, right?
Correct.
Now, for all the naysayers out there, what do you say to them?
I totally respect your opinion.
Excellent. And if they're any decent type of person, they should respect yours too, right?
One would hope.
One would hope.
But it's not a requirement.
No, that is true. I love that. You're like, if you don't believe me, that's cool.
Absolutely.
But each to their own.
Yes, because it's not my job to change anybody's mind. If anyone is open to learning something, whatever it is, great. Mm-hmm. If you already know it all, okay. I accept that is your truth.
Sure. That's, fair enough. So tell me a little bit more about how that works for you. Is it the crystals actually giving you messages? Is it you tuning into your intuition via the crystals? Is it a bit of both? Is it something completely different? What is it?
All of the above. Mm-hmm. And to stretch that answer out just a bit, not to have as I'm not very good with just really super short answers. So if anybody asks me a question,
we've got all the time in the world.
Okay. This part of my journey, we all have a path we're flying or flowing or walking or running or whatever it is we're doing. Mm-hmm. And everyone has their own special, unique characteristics and their gifts or talents, whatever that may be. It can be computers, it can be art, it can be interviewing people, it can be woo-woo, like some people like to say about those of us who are on our spiritual path. And spiritual, they're already digressing a little bit. I promise I'm going to answer that question.
That's fine.
Spiritual does not mean that you don't have to or you can't get angry. It doesn't mean you can't use sailor daughter language, because I do, just nobody hears me by choice. And it doesn't mean you don't have a down day. It doesn't mean you are like perfect and nothing ever goes wrong, because let me tell you, the spiritual path is not for sissies or wussies or whatever term y'all want. It's not for the faint of heart. My journey with crystals, short story, began in 1989. So there I am dating myself by a couple of days, okay? This is 2020, so y'all figure it out. And for a long time, it was just me and the crystals. I wasn't hearing anything. I wasn't picking up anything. I was just tuning in or sensing the energy. That's it. And then I started to work with them differently, I guess about 15 years ago. And then 4 years ago, there was a 7-year gap. So I don't do math very well in my head. I'm not allowed. So, 15 years ago, and then for a few years, I worked with them. I taught some classes about them, and I offered them for adoption rather than just selling, because selling to me, nothing wrong with it. It's just my guides and I give a lot more than, hey, here's this pretty ROCK, because I can't say that word and not get in trouble energetically. Here's a pretty stone. Buy it. No, there's a whole lot more that goes into it, because I found myself, this is August of 2020. So whenever y'all are listening to this, in October of 2019, and I wasn't really consciously aware of it until about mid-December of 2019, that my business path, my spiritual path, my work was really focused right back in onto crystals and through them, teaching about them, offering them through my shop, and just really taking a deeper dive. Moving forward a little bit until March of this year, I thought, okay, so because I'm doing more of this work, I wanted to create more of a connection with the crystals in my collection. I wanted to know more, to sense more, to feel more of their energy. So I started a journal, which I thought was going to be totally private, which it is not anymore. And the first thing that I would do, or the first time I did it, was early March, before all this craziness happened in the world and got to the US and all of that stuff. And I'm not naming it on purpose. So y'all can figure out this is the pandemic time and I'm just not naming it. So I started to just picked up one of the crystals in my collection and just kind of looked at it. And it was a yellow, or what they call a golden healer, hematoid. And this is a palm stone because it fits, pretty much in your hand.
Makes sense.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I just looked at it and described it and what I felt, the connection with it. So there was no message. No, it was just me connecting with, like, okay, so what do I see? What are the energy that I sense? And then about 3 or 4 messages later, and I didn't do this every day because I need to be not rushed. So if I have an hour and it takes me half an hour, I need 2 hours of time in my mind. Mm-hmm. Because otherwise I am not clear enough to do this work. So about the 4th message in, I was working with pyrite, and still it was more of an energetic sense. Okay. Rather than an actual, this is a message from, through the crystal's energy and my connection. And it's telepathic, so it's not like I hear things exactly, okay, everyone? Although that's another topic. So about the 4th one in with pyrite, it felt misunderstood because most people call pyrite fool's gold because it's heavy. And it doesn't like that. So I wrote about that. And then I was nudged, as my guides often do, to share it. And I went, okay, now it took me 2 days to actually follow that guidance because up until then, this was for me. It wasn't so I could, say, hey, this is what I'm doing. Look at me, blah, blah, blah. That is not who I am. Yes, I look gregarious, but Ruth and I have had a nice conversation way before this. So she and I are comfortable with each other. Otherwise, we wouldn't be doing this at all.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I am pretty much a homebody, so this craziness does not really affect me. So I posted it on my Facebook and on my Instagram, and it was like, holy smokes, people really started appreciating it. And wow, I never knew this. And thank you so much for sharing. And I went, okay, fine. Because my guides give me a little bit and then they stretch it out.
Sure. The spiritual breadcrumbs, right?
Yes, because if they gave me everything all at once, Ruth, I would have shut the door and said, oh, hell no, boarded it, taped it, glued it, and then shut the windows.
You and the rest of us that are going through this journey, I'm sure.
Uh-huh. So now, every once in a while, or a little more regularly, I share them in video and in written form.
Fantastic. I've been looking at some of your pages, like your website, your social media, and you seem to have a lot of people that love what you do. So that's That is beautiful, you know. Tell us about the other stuff that you do through with crystal work, so courses and stuff like that.
About the workshops,
Hmm.
well, we actually taught some people how to tap into and tune in to their crystals, minerals or stones, because they're not all crystals. They are minerals and stones. They just don't like to be called ROCKS. Now, y'all can call them whatever you want to. I just get real negative energy when I use the ROCK word, okay? So I don't. My guides and I taught several people how to tap into a crystal's energy without worrying about what the metaphysical properties are. Okay, what are the metaphysical properties? Okay, what's the message? No. What are you feeling right now? And what is it telling you? Telepathically, energetically.
So that's
Some of the other, go ahead.
no, keep going. Keep going.
Some of the other workshops we've just in the last few months are crystals that can help you with ancestral healing. Children who are now being birthed come out kind of like pre-wired for computers and geeky stuff, right? Haven't you noticed that? I mean, that's pretty much a truth. It's not even me making stuff up. So with that thought, how is it also not possible that we as humans inherit all the good stuff and all the crappy stuff and all the negativity, whatever that is, down through the generations, through the DNA, through the umbilical cord? So most of the stuff you're working with probably isn't even your stuff. Doesn't mean you don't have to work, well, you don't have to do anything. Doesn't mean you don't get to work with it, to heal it, to release it so that free you. Most of it's not even yours.
Very true. Yeah. So, I mean, because you hear about ancestral trauma and stuff passed down, and that can go however many generations. I'm sure it's probably infinite, really.
As far back as humans were doing whatever it is they're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you can hear that. There's full-on rain happening right now. So, no?
Send some this way, please.
Some rain? You want some rain? It's pretty hot over there, isn't it? Yeah, no worries.
Just a wee bit.
We'll cool you down. All good. Sending it through now. Just through the microphone here. All good.
Hey, that works.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of like ancestral trauma. I'm sending cool air, rain through the microphone. Who knew? Where were we? Yes. So ancestral trauma can get passed down, and positive traits can get passed down.
All of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of it.
Absolutely.
Yes, and when we grow up in our homes, we hear different languages. You're not good enough. Children should be seen and not heard. You're not normal. Why can't you fit in this thing or that thing about finances or people or, it's the gamut. And those things and this is not about blame or judgment. This is what we identify in some of the classes. And what is it you're feeling? What's the first memory of that? Okay, now let's fix that. No judgment, no blame. Okay, we got it. Let's reword it. Let's reframe it. Let's burn the hell out of it. Let's let go of it and put something different or more positive in its place. Because when you remove something, you take something out of your refrigerator or a drawer, there's a vacuum. Most often, something else fills the space, whether you're aware of it or not. So why not, when we create these spaces for healing, whatever language you want to use for that, why not put something in that space rather than allow it to just suck up something else that you don't want?
Mm. So this is what you do in one of your courses, and
And
crystals come into it how in that particular course?
okay, let's take fitness trainers. Okay,
Yep.
okay, fitness trainers. There are a multitude of fitness trainers, male, female, blends of both. Okay, I'm trying to keep. I'm not very PC, but I do my best not to offend anyone intentionally. I'm purple on the inside, so there you go. All right. Making a little bit of a jest at my expense, but fitness trainers. There are male, female, and blends of genders. And each one of these beautiful soul fitness trainers has a specialty. Yes, whole body, upper body, blah, blah, blah. But that their energy, your energy, resonates with some people and not with others. Same with crystals. They all have a different vibration. Pink ones usually are across the board are for unconditional love, heart healing, emotional healing, raising your vibration, helping to feel in that space where so many of us didn't feel loved enough or at all. Or something else happened along the way to just totally screw that up. The blue ones, this is a real generalization,
Sure.
because within the pink family, there are different vibrations.
Sure.
Little bit different specialties. And even if you have a rose quartz and you have 5 of them, they're each going to vibrate a little bit different, even though they're all rose quartz.
Mm-hmm.
So the blue ones are all for your throat chakra, communication, self-expression. And if you swallow lots of your words because it's either not appropriate or you don't feel strong enough, or you're just going to get shot down because you've been told to shut up your whole life, you've got a blockage. Because every time we don't say something or get it out in an appropriate way that does not cause more attention or more conflict for us, then we swallow it. And what happens? All that energy goes down, down, down to your solar plexus, which is at your belly button. Some people teach it, it's above. Well, I manifested through my umbilical cord, or the umbilical cord between my birth mother and me, so therefore that's where I manifested. So that's where my solar plexus is. That's your first contact physically, right? So why wouldn't it be there? That's my understanding.
Sure.
So you swallow all this words and this emotion, and it gets clogged into your solar plexus, which is your center for empowerment, managing energy, self-confidence, manifestation. If that puppy is blocked, it's a lot harder to manifest or to create space for those things that you desire, whatever it is.
Makes sense. So,
and I'm sorry, the colors for that are orange or yellow. Okay. I had to get that in there. Okay.
Yeah. So you use crystals, particular colored crystals to work on releasing certain blockages within the chakral system.
Yes, and to raise the vibration and for focused intention, for protection. It's not just healing. It's not just about the, oh my God, I've got so much stuff to heal. Well, we humans do. That is a truth. Some of us more than others. As we go along, there's a little bit less, but there's always that work to do because there's always something coming up. If you're 20 years old, okay, and you're just now figuring some things out, great. So the good news is it's not going to take you another 20 years to uncover everything, but every time you uncover something, you lift a layer of energy, kind of like peeling an onion. You get closer to the heart of the matter, and stuff that you didn't even remember floats up to the top, and you go, okay, thank you. You're free to go. That's if there's no emotional trigger to it.
Sure.
But the different crystals have different vibrations. The red ones are for your root chakra. prosperity, passion, protection, survival issues. Nobody has any issues about that, right?
Mm, 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 mm. You're being facetious now, obviously. Yeah.
Just a little bit.
I picked
Just a
up on
little.
that. I picked up on that. Awesome. Okay, so here's a question for you. This is for all the cynics out there, all the materialists, all the pure scientists. So, for example, with the Heart Math Institute, you've heard of the Heart Math Institute?
No, I so don't surf the internet. If I can't find something within 10 minutes, I'm done.
Fair enough.
Well,
No, that's fine. So basically, they've done a lot of research on the heart, and the heart being or one of the things that they discovered with all their scientific methods is that they've been able to prove that the heart is able to produce an electromagnetic field that is at least a couple of meters surrounding each person, and that those fields can interact with other people's fields and therefore influence the way that other people are feeling with, say, if we were standing in front of each other physically, you and me, Terrie Marie, and I was feeling sad or what have you, you and your electromagnetic field could pick up on that. You might actually start feeling sad, or it would influence the way that you feel. You might have been happy, but now you're coming, my field is bringing you down, for example.
yes.
And they've been able to prove that, okay, using scientific methods and EKG machines and all sorts of wonderful stuff. Now, so something like that. So the fact that they're saying that the heart and the way that you feel can influence other people without you even saying anything or looking at them. You might not even be interacting with the other person. They could be, you could be two strangers standing,
Yes.
back to back in the middle of the street, and they're saying that your electromagnetic field can influence that person. Now, the fact
Absolutely.
that they can prove that, right? Now,
Yes.
has put a lot of naysayers, it's shut people up because, people like you and me, quite spiritual, we probably just knew that sort of stuff intuitively, but they had to kind of bring it in scientific terms for other people, okay, that need that sort of stuff. Now, in saying all that, with crystals, do you know if there's any scientific research that says that crystals, that there's any evidence that behind the power of crystals or anything to that nature? I mean, we know that everything gives off a frequency, and crystals definitely do give off a frequency because, they're made of atoms, right?
Mm-hmm.
And atoms
Yes.
vibrate, and anything
Yes.
that vibrates gives off a frequency. So we know that at least, and frequency influences other things that are, made up of atoms and are also vibing and are also giving off a frequency. So we know that. Do you know if there's any particular sort of documentation out there or any other science that you've heard?
Yeah, being in a primarily like 90% intuitive person, I am aware that there are things out there. Can I cite something for those who are wanting to learn, to expand their knowledge base, or even entertain that there's something that they may not be able to scientifically this and that? No, I can't cite anything. There is a doctor, he has passed quite some time ago, Dr. Masaru, who proved, and this is along the same lines, and it's words, it's not crystals necessarily. However, on the bottom of my water bottle, I don't know if we're just audio or not, but on the bottom of my water bottle,
No,
I have
we're
the
video
word
as
love.
well.
Okay, so see, let me do this so I don't spill water on myself. I have the word
Yes.
Love, I don't know if you can see it, love written on the bottom of this. Because Dr. Masaru, and please forgive me if I've screwed up his name.
I think it's
Moto Masaru.
Masato Emoto, or the other
Okay,
way
yes,
around.
that one.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
see?
I know the
And I
guy.
memorized nothing. But he he proved beyond a shadow of a doubt that just by writing words, not nice ones and very nice ones, that the molecules, the little crystalline structures of the water changed. It's the same with what we say. And just if you don't say it with your mouth, you're thinking it, people still can feel it. Those who are aware, and what I mean, and you don't have to be spiritually aware or into, but you can tell when somebody is BSing you to your face or not. Crystals, it was Nikola Tesla, okay, Tesla, and then we even use diamonds in certain configurations for mechanics and transistor radios and things. To me, that's all the scientificness that I can share with you. The rest of it, I just have this sense of knowing, and it's okay if nobody believes me. I'm okay with that because it's not my job.
No, it's not your job. It's not your job.
Nope.
And people, when they start to sort of realize things for themselves, and start tuning into that knowing that we all have inside of us, we'll start to hear people like yourself speak. And even though you might be saying something that is not based in science, but they'll be listening to you, and they'll be able to feel whether what you're saying is true or not. And I think there's a lot of people now, kind of as they wake up and just waking up to the fact that that is like your intuition is the best bullshit detector there is, right? It's
Absolutely. And those who don't believe in the word intuition or can't quite resonate with the word, how about those gut feelings that you'll experience? Huh?
yeah,
Same thing.
it is the same thing. Yeah,
It's
absolutely.
the same thing.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's all the scientific proof I need, Terrie Marie.
So I'm going to go a little bit more woo-woo on the energy side. And if when we were connected through Facebook Messenger for the first time, if I didn't like the energy coming through your words, we would never have connected face to face. And it's not because I'm all that or I'm all, if it doesn't resonate, it's not a good fit for either side.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I'm starting to tune into that a little bit more myself. I'm still not, full bottle on it, but I'm tweaking it. I'm tweaking it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
And for those who are awakening and those who are medium throttled or full throttled, if you are sensing any kind of energy overwhelm where it's just like, oh my God, I've got to get off the world for a while, here's a little trick. Imagine that you are in a bubble, or imagine a bubble or a cocoon or an oval shape of pink light around you. And it's not tight. You can stick out your arms, and however, one at a time, round or wide you need it to be, that's it. And what does it do? It filters out between, depending upon your belief system, okay, about 80 to 90% of negativity or energy overwhelm, because sometimes positive energy can be just too much.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of us who are sensitive to energy, it's like, okay. When I'm in El Paso, Texas at the moment, kind of in temporary living conditions because I was literally packing my home to move to Tucson, Arizona, when the craziness hit and our city got shut down on March 24th. So most of my things are in storage. I have some things with me in this beautiful space. And before we actually, I knew something was really terrible. I don't watch the news. It's not sticking my hand in the sand. I cannot manage all of that and my energy at the same time. I'm not able to do that. I am what some people would call over the top, emotionally crazy, too sensitive. And you know what? Okay, fine. But when you put that bubble of pink light around you, it helps to filter out the energy. That makes you're still approachable, so you're not cutting people off, although you might want to sometimes. And then put a bubble of white, because that will cut you off, or cut them off, or both.
Oh, okay. There you go. Something new I learned today. Awesome. Thanks for that.
Well, you're welcome.
Yeah, I mean, visualization also is a very powerful tool. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite crystal? And are you going to offend anyone if you say it out loud? Is there a favorite, or do you have many?
Well, they're all right there, the same equal, and yet some of the ones that
just like a loving mother. I love my children all equally.
Well, there's a whole pile of them sitting right here beside me, so it's not like the very first ones that I started collecting, and this was back in '89 or somewhere around there, and this was in Hawaii, and it was really still very new as far as in Hawaii. Back then, we didn't even get same-day network transition of the news or the TV programs or anything. It was all shipped in on big reels. And so things would get to Hawaii like 6 months later. It was just the way it was back then. Mm-hmm. Sort of, secluded, or what do they call it? Sheltered. There we go. So I found a couple of crystals here and there. My first ones were black tourmaline. And since we are partly visual, black tourmaline is it looks like a fancy carved piece of coal for someone who's just listening, but it's not. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. What it does is to, depending upon the size, helps to set out a shield, a protective shield of energy, so that negativity doesn't get into you as much, because let's face it, there are some people who practice their negative stuff as much as we practice our positive stuff. I mean, right? Mm-hmm. So black tourmaline and rose quartz, the pinky one that is very common. Amethyst purple, which is one of my absolute favorites because I love purple and I love pink. And then everybody else is like, second and third. I do have other favorites like a Lemurian seed crystal, and you don't need one this big. This one just wanted to live with me, and I'm very grateful. And I think maybe you can see the ridges. These are not human carved. And for those of our beautiful souls who are listening only, it looks like a clear quartz, except that there are striations on the facets. Not all facets, but most facets. And they're called Lemurian seed crystals. And as far as I'm aware, they're only from Brazil. Okay. Mm-hmm. And what do those do? Well, that's a whole nother subject, but we'll tell you a little bit that it helps you. For anyone who's heard of Akashic Records or the Book of Life, or, you want to get more in touch with who you are or who you were before you got here now, that's one of the crystals that you can use to help you tap into that energy. Now, if you go holding a crystal or anything else and going, this is just, yes, you're absolutely right. It is, and you're going to get nothing because you've already blocked it. Mm-hmm. If you're open, even just a teensy weensy bit, and you start connecting with different ways of tuning into your own who you are, or who you might think you are, or who you think yeah, you got it. Okay. we need to watch out if they start trying to put two words together to make a new one that makes no sense.
And just quickly, side note, when you say
yes.
when you're saying when people might hear you say one at a time and then you'll continue talking, and if they try and give you two words together, you're talking about the crystals. They're actually communicating with you telepathically, like a lot of the time.
My spirit guides.
Your spirit guides. Okay, sorry. Yep. Yeah.
That's okay. Because, they'll all talk to me.
Yeah.
Telepathically, guys, okay?
Yeah.
It's like, although sometimes I wonder because it can get very loud. Oh, and here, if you don't mind my sharing another tip.
Please. Yeah, absolutely.
So the difference, this one is like people, wow. And it didn't take me it took me a while to put it into words, because when you know something, I mean, that sense of, and it's not the arrogance and the you got the know-it-all part. It's like there's this, I'm not supposed to go there, or I need to take this route, or something you just know is good for you and you might do it anyway, or bad for you and you might do it anyway. That sense of knowing, that's called claircognizance, and you usually the energy usually resonates or collects either in your heart center or in your solar plexus area. And the way you can tell the difference between intuitive guidance and conscious mind chitter chatter, that noise,
your ego,
the noise,
all that sort of stuff.
That little voice that just never shuts up. Yes. Pretty much.
Know that one.
And when something's going right, it'll dig up some piece of trash and try to, do its best to throw you off. And a lot of times it works. That is right here, right in the front of your forehead. Not to be confused with where your third eye chakra is. So if the voice or the incessant noise is right in the middle of your forehead, your third eye is slightly above or lower. So no matter where that voice resonates, it's always in the front of your head. Mm-hmm. Always. It is not intuition. It is not your gut feelings. It's not your guides. It's not the crystals. It's not the angelic realm. It's not anybody of any value except your own conscious mind chitter chatter. Okay? And if you try to shut it up, it just gets louder and more obnoxious until you say, okay, got it, thank you. Just acknowledge it. So, where is the intuitive part? When you get one of those thoughts that just float in somewhere, the next time you're aware of it, identify where in your head, and for those beautiful souls who are listening, I am tapping on the top of my head. I know you can't see me, but there it is. And that thought is going to be somewhere inside your head, either comes in through one of your ears, the base of your neck, to the top of your head, through your crown chakra, or the back. That, it's only going to be in that place every single time. Anytime else, it's not your guides, it's not your intuition, it's not your gut hunches. That's a promise. That's a truth.
I've I've personally been doing a lot of work with that and trying to figure out what's what and where it is, and all that sort of stuff. And my mentor actually told me, actually helped me figure out that, like you were saying, the chitter chatter, it's actually quite incessant, and it's almost like it can almost feel like it's yelling at you, or it's loud, or it's annoying. And whereas your intuition, it's actually like really soft and gentle, and it's not incessant. It's not incessant. Like you might hear something once and then that's it.
If you're not paying attention, you could hear it several times. And if you're still not paying attention, yes.
Yeah.
So meditation.
Yep, that keeps coming up. Meditation. Yes.
So
Every
here's an
time.
easy way, because as soon as you close your eyes to be in the silence or to be still, what happens?
Mm.
Incessant noise times 10. Because the conscious mind, its sole purpose is to keep you in your place of fear, doubt, and confusion, and in the past, and worrying about the future. I mean, that's its job, and it does it really well. So a technique that I teach my clients is to light a white candle, which is for purification or protection, one of the two, or both actually, white. Can you use any color candle? Yes, you may. White is good to start with. Put on some soft music, sit in the same spot. Does it have to be every time at the same time of day? No, some people teach that. You know, I work with me, myself, and I, and my guides and the crystals. I don't get to my meditation the exact same time every day. I don't, but I get in the same spot.
Mm-hmm.
So you light a candle or quiet and or play some music. I like to be outside in the garden with all the flowers and everybody. And then you just focus your eyes, a soft gaze on the flame of the candle. And you're breathing. And this quiets. It will take some practice. And some people can't sit still for 20 minutes. I'm one of them. So start for 5 minutes. Start for just a few minutes. And when you're doing it in the same spot, you begin to build up what I call a vortex, or a synergy of energy. So even on those days that no matter what you do or how you do it, that little incessant noise just never shuts up. Your body is still getting the benefit because you've been building up this. It's like you're, oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What does
Meditation
that have
is
to do with
amazing.
crystals? I have them all over the place. Because if you can't quiet that, you can't hear, see, or sense the softer, subtler vibrations. It's not possible,
Mm. And that is
or it's very hard.
and that is where the knowledge is, and that is where, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the good stuff is, definitely. um I've been meditating for about almost maybe 10 years now, so yeah, I get it. I'm still not great at it, by the way.
The, one of the ways that you can help you manage, because you try to control something, what does it do? It just kind of blows up
Mm.
most of the time, because control to me is fisted, but you don't want to be totally open-handed. So just kind of cup your hand, that kind of a managing. And I've named mine Charlie, because saying conscious mind, chitter chatter, be quiet, that's too much. But Charlie, knock it off. Charlie, I hear you. We don't even have to worry about that for the next like 3.5 months yet. So, go organize that for me, and then we'll talk about it later. So I give it stuff to do.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's actually I think that'll work. That's quite clever.
It
Give
will
it
take
give,
some practice,
give it
because
something
it's
else to
like, I'm
focus
not
on.
listening to you. You don't ever listen to me. I'm not listening to you either. And then when it nags at you, go, okay, thank you. Just acknowledge it. When you start doing that, and when you start saying thank you for those little twinges, those little nudges of intuition, you're
Mm-hmm.
going to start noticing them more.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Can you show us the beautiful crystals you have with you today? And can you tell the listeners how many crystals you have?
I didn't count since the last time we talked.
I know, but like, give us the numbers that you gave me last time, because that kind of
Okay, well,
blew
I
me
will
away a
share
little
with
bit.
you what I shared with Ruth when we spoke a few days ago. I told her that I needed to have a conversation with, I call them beauties, crystals, minerals, and stones. They are all beautiful to me. And I was getting ready to put them in the boxes, and it was, oh my gosh, a cacophony of not wanting to go into the boxes. And like, look, You either get in the box and you're in storage for however long you need to be there, or you don't get to go. Whew. It stopped. I said, I am taking everybody with me. And see, I'm writing on the box, personal collection, so I don't get y'all confused with what's for the shop, okay? So we're all going with me. And at that time, 95% of my collection was in storage. Well, that's no longer a true statement because we've been adding the last 4.5 months. So I think it's only like 90% is in storage and the rest of it's with me. And Ruth asked me, she says, well, what is that number? I said, well, I don't know, maybe 100 with me.
So, yeah.
And that does not count anybody for my shop, okay? That is just,
so Terrie Marie
sure who collects
has,
who.
Yeah.
But
has a lot of crystals, has a lot of beauties. What a house to be surrounded by so much beauty. That would be incredible.
Yes. So I hear some questions that may come up. So I'm going to answer those and answer your question or your request of showing you some of the crystals. Now I will describe some of these who are going, for the beautiful souls who are just going to be listening. This is blue and it is called kyanite. Okay, that one, and this white selenite, and you can see that they're kind of, I think, well, they have ridges.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're not smooth like a palm stone.
Yeah.
All right. And the kyanite, I had to blank out my screen here. These are the only two that I'm aware of currently that recharge and cleanse themselves. Every other crystal, mineral, stone, and ROCK that you pick up that's nice and pretty, and I probably have a few of those around too, they need to be cleansed and recharged. What do I mean? Because they all absorb energy. Your body is a humongous magnet. And if you don't clear the junk out, you can't hear, you get, there's, it's just a mess. There's just, okay? Just a mess. So, oh yeah, okay. Now everybody shush. This one, and I'll describe it for you. This is a soul stone. It is a variegated or multicolored fluorite. And at the top of it has purples and multicolored, and some people will call it rainbow. I'm good with that. I like rainbows. Usually multicolored or multi-variegated fluorite is purple, white, green, blue, and sometimes a little yellow. I don't think this one has very much yellow, if at all. This one has green at the bottom, white and light lavender in the center, and then very deep purple at the point, at the termination. Pillar, tower, obelisk, some people would call them a wand. This guy, one of my new beauties, is called a phantom. And I'm not sure if you can see it very well in here because of the light, but a phantom, this one is a chlorite. It's got some chlorite. Can you tell that?
It's like green, specks of green in there?
Yes, green specks, yes. And a phantom is a clear quartz that has, okay, we'll show her that one too, has an imprint of another crystal or would have been like a shadow. And it's not a dark shadow or a gray, but it's like a shadow on the inside. And I think maybe you can see this one. I'm so glad wanted to stay with me. So you can see some of the different inclusions. This has chlorite, and it also has some other pieces or vibrations in there so that you see, and the phantom, stop it. The phantoms are crystals that had started to grow, stopped, and then a larger crystal formed around it afterwards. Okay?
Yep.
Oh, this is a clear quartz cluster Maybe y'all are familiar with it. It's clear quartz that has some points, some, for those who are listening only, has a lot of points on one base.
Mm-hmm.
Clear quartz is good for protection against negative energy, magnifies the energies of all other crystals, minerals, and stones by 10, depending upon the size. Now, does size matter? It's always a favorite question. Because a lot of beautiful souls, I'll buy this one for $1 or whatever your currency is, or $5, and it's going to move mountains. No, it's not. It's just,
So that particular crystal that you're holding up right now is for to increase finances, right? That one.
Yes, citrine. Now,
Citrine.
if you're not willing to buy a decent size, and we'll call it like a decent size, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Or even like this, like 3 or 4 like this size, can you see how much more work a little one that is less than an inch, and I don't know what that is in meters or anything, I just,
in centimeters, it's probably like 3 centimeters, something like that.
Okay, so not very big.
Mm.
And you can see the difference. The one in my left hand is a red hematoid quartz. It's about the same length, but it's 3 times as wide, and it is a lot thicker, like about triple.
Yep.
Okay, so if you had a piece of citrine that's the bigger size, it's going to take a lot less. It's going to be easier for it to work with you. Now, if you had something that was even bigger, how much this size is, it's 4 times, I think maybe 4 or 5 times bigger than the little piece we showed you.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to make it a lot easier even then.
Sure.
So and how do we equate that? Well, now there are some that don't need to be very big, but it depends on what it is and its vibration. Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, the small ones that are about 3 centimeters or barely an inch and not that much wider, it's like being really thirsty and taking 1 sip of water and expecting you to be hydrated all over your entire body. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, there are exceptions to every rule. There are some, and I have 2 examples. This is a Herkimer diamond, and they're called Herkimer diamonds. They are naturally double terminated, which means points on both ends, and they grow this way in various sizes in Herkimer, New York. They do not, you can even have one half the size of this. And what size would that be, Ruth, in centimeters?
That's probably about 1.5 centimeters.
Yes. Okay. So half of what even we, a little piece of, whole nother topic. So this, even if it was half of its size, is still potent because of the energy. This is a piece of kunzite, which is, you can't see it in the light at all. It's lilac colored, and you don't need a very big piece of it. But the other ones, you need something decent size. So if you have something, okay, right, got it, okay. So this is a small red hematoid quartz, which is about 4 centimeters, maybe?
Yeah.
Maybe about 1.5 inches-ish.
Yep.
Okay? And this is a piece of black tourmaline. Now, we're going to imagine that the red hematoid is black tourmaline. How much more protection do you think the big guy, who weighs probably 2 pounds, again, I don't know anything, I'm an American. What am I going to say?
It's probably half a kilogram, maybe.
Bird just flew into the window. So this is pretty hefty. I wouldn't carry this on my walk because it's heavy and my hands would get tired. So if you have something very small, which is about 3 centimeters or 2 or 4, and then you have something that's like 5 times bigger, which one do you think is going to give you more protection for energy, or help you clear out your energy, or raise your vibration, or do the healing work or the manifestation work? Let me see. I think the bigger one.
Makes sense. It's logical.
Now, if you only have access to little ones, and you need a lot of little ones.
Yeah, fair. Do you have any other beauties there that we can look at? And are you Are you getting any messages from the beauties, the crystals, for the listeners at all? Just thought I'd ask that just in case.
Okay.
Get some good stuff.
Okay. Oh, all right. Okay, for everybody who's watching, I'm going to close my eyes, and whenever I look off into a direction is where I'm accessing the information, and I close my eyes so I can see better. So this, I'll open for a minute. This is a piece of beautiful dendritic tree agate. It's kind of like landscaping. It's a milky white color, and it has different
It's beautiful.
deposits of that doesn't matter, so I'll find it. But it's like iron, manganese, and hematite, and different kinds of things, and you can see in the different ones different patterns. So transformation is all around you, whether you accept it or not. If you choose to step into more of who you are, step out of the darkness, whatever that means for you, your shadow self, turn around and embrace you. Embrace all of you, even those parts that you would wish no other would know about, even yourself. They helped you get to where you are by turning and facing you and all of your completeness. You are no longer as separated, and in truth, you are never separated from your true essence, from that of your soul that bridges heart and mind into the heavens. We are not about to change. We are not about changing anyone's beliefs, only here to serve in whatever capacity we are allowed or are able to do so. Your faith is included. You need not exclude anything that you already believe, you practice. This is not about exclusion, it is about inclusion. Just as the surface of my face, consciousness is consciousness. We are all connected through the ethers. That's it.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Don't ask me what I said because I don't know.
Okay.
The only thing he wants me to, in some of my crystals tell me their gender, some of them tell me their names, but not all. And is that a requirement? No. But this one, he's talking about his face, his outward appearance. Mm-hmm. And I really don't know what we just said.
That's cool. No, it was beautiful.
Okay.
It was good. It was, I think, appropriate. Very much so. For a lot of people that would be listening, I imagine. So thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Did you have any other crystals you wanted to show us, or was that it?
See, the issue, we're starting to collect and put some few pieces in, like they all start talking and go, no, that's enough. So this is a beautiful piece of dark blue. It's called blue apatite. This is among the blues for your throat chakra. However, this one, because not just because of the color, but because of the vibration, and it's dense, and you can see this is a stone, as opposed to a cluster, okay, clear quartz or a quartz cluster. So this one is more for your third eye and the higher vibrations to help you to elevate your vibration, to clear the conscious mind so that you can then tune in more easily, more consistently, and more frequently to your own guides. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're all good? Okay, we're all good. We're all good. It's like, okay, we're all good.
Awesome. Awesome. Terrie Marie, can you tell people where to find you on social
No.
media? No?
No.
No. All right. Hey, that's up to you. That's all good.
Okay, when I try to be funny, it doesn't work. But I like to say no once in a while, okay? Just because.
Oh no, it was funny. I was
Okay.
definitely laughing. It was definitely funny.
All right. Well, on social media, on Instagram, Angel Lady 2Ls TM. Angel Lady TM. An easier way to find me is to go to one of my one of two websites, angeldreamteam.com, and there are the floating icons for the different social media. We do have a Facebook group called, thank you, Crystals, Angels, and Chakras. And you're welcome to invite yourself in. There are 2 simple questions. If you don't answer them, you ain't getting in. Okay, that's, and let's see. I think that, oh yes, right. So the other website is The Crystologist, like Crystology, CRYSTO, Crystology, but Crystologist. Either one, you can sign up for crystal messages, and it's a free gift.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And yeah, you have courses and stuff people can do. You have I'm on one of your Facebook groups, and you provide a lot of awesome information on crystals. And you've got an Etsy shop as well, your Etsy shop where you sell crystals and you actually create bracelets for people as well.
Yes.
And that's, very beautiful work and very beautiful crystals. I've had a look.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time, Terrie Marie. You are
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it was beautiful. And please pass on the message to the crystals that I really appreciate their time as well. It was lovely to see them. I just
got chill bumps. We're good.
Oh, good. Awesome. Thank you so much. And I hope that, I get to talk to you soon. I'm sure I will. I'll see you on the interwebs, as they say.
Yes, absolutely. And we are now connected, so why not?
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much once again. I hope you have a very restful and beautiful sleep tonight. And I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. And thank you so much for allowing us to share and to be a part of your path. And for everyone who's listening, have an amazing day, beautiful soul.
Thank you. You too, Terrie Marie.